You know that feeling when you're just completely overwhelmed by stress, frustration, maybe worry? It's like your feelings are running the show and you're just stuck in the passenger seat. Well, let's dive into that, because today we're going to talk about how you can grab the steering wheel and take back control.
Yeah, this is pretty much what it feels like, right? A total storm of emotions, all pulling you in a million different directions. And look, that feeling, it's completely normal. But here's the thing to remember. You don't have to just be a passenger getting tossed around. You can actually be the pilot.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to start with that emotional chain reaction. Then we'll get into what emotional regulation actually is. After that, I'll walk you through a 5-step playbook. We'll talk about the mind-body connection. And finally, how to become the boss of your feelings for good.
All right, first things first, let's really understand the problem. Psychologists call it an emotional chain reaction, but you and I, we probably just know it as that classic downward spiral. And let's be real, we've all been there.
So here's how it works. Imagine you're stuck on a really tough problem, let's say for school or work. That first spark is a negative emotion, right? Frustration. That frustration then kicks off a negative thought, something like, ugh, I'm just terrible at this. And what does that thought lead to? A negative behavior. You slam the laptop shut and just give up. It's this powerful little loop, this cycle, that just feeds on itself. And man, can it be tough to break. So the big question is, how do we stop it? How do we break that cycle? Well, this is where our key concept for today comes in. Emotional regulation. Think of it as the skill that lets you hit the pause button and break that chain reaction before it completely takes over.
Now, what I love about this definition is the specific wording. Pay attention to this. It's not about suppressing your emotions or pretending they're not there. No way. It's about managing them. It's about seeing them, understanding them, and then choosing how you want to respond. It's a huge difference.
And this quote just nails it. This is the goal, right here. It's a total power shift. Instead of letting your emotions call all the shots, you get to be the one in charge. You become the boss.
Okay, so that all sounds great in theory, but how do we actually do this? Let's get practical. I'm about to walk you through a simple 5-step playbook you can pull out anytime you feel one of those negative emotions starting to creep in.
So here are the 5 steps. We've got describe the situation, name your emotions, identify your thoughts, choose how you want to feel, and finally, reframe your thoughts. We're going to go through each one, and to make it super clear, let's use a running example. Just imagine you're a student and your teacher just handed you a really confusing assignment. Okay, step 1. What is really happening here? Your first job is to get super specific. We're not talking about judgments like, my teacher is so annoying. Nope. You need to describe the situation like a reporter, just stating the cold, hard facts. What's actually going on? So for our student, the factual play-by-play might be something like this. I don't understand the assignment my teacher gave me. It's a huge part of my grade, and I need help, but she seems really busy with other students. You see how specific that is? There's no judgment in there. It's just a statement of fact. And doing this, just this one simple thing, starts to create a little bit of space between you and that knee-jerk emotional reaction. All right, step 2. What emotions are you feeling? And again, the key here is to be specific. Don't just settle for, I'm mad. Dig a little deeper. Are you frustrated, annoyed, worried? What's really cool is that research shows just putting a name to a feeling can actually dial down its intensity. So, back to our student. It's probably not just mad. They might realize, okay, I'm feeling angry, yeah, but also frustrated, irritated, definitely worried, and maybe even a little helpless. Just acknowledging that whole messy mix of feelings is so important. Recognizing that complexity is a massive step towards actually managing it.
Step 3. Now we're getting to the real heart of it. What story is your mind telling you? See, our emotions are often fueled by these little narratives our brains spin up on the spot. They're the predictions, the assumptions, the explanations that just pop into our heads. So you have to ask yourself, what's the story I'm telling myself right now?
For our student, the story might sound like this. This assignment's stupid. I'm not even going to do it. You know what? I'm probably just going to fail this class anyway. See? That's the chain reaction we talked about, right there in action. The frustration and worry are creating these thoughts. But here's the critical question you have to ask. Are these thoughts facts, or are they just one possible story out of many?
Okay, step 4 is the big pivot. This is the game changer. Now that you've laid it all out, the situation, the feelings, the story, you get to decide on the solution. Instead of feeling helpless and frustrated, how do you want to feel? You get to choose.
Our student might decide, you know what, I want to feel confident that I can get this assignment done. I want to feel happy knowing I'm going to get a good grade. When you set a clear emotional goal like that, you're basically giving your brain a new target to aim for. You stop just reacting, and now you're proactively creating a new path forward.
And that brings us to the final step, number 5. What thoughts would create that feeling? This is where we build the mental bridge to get from where you are to where you want to be. If your goal is to feel confident, what would a confident person be thinking in this exact situation? You're basically reverse engineering your own mindset. It's pretty cool.
So, what thoughts would actually create that feeling of confidence? Well, our student could choose new thoughts like, I am smart, I'm totally capable of figuring this out, and if I get stuck, I know I can get the help I need. These new thoughts, they become your new script, your affirmations. You repeat them, you focus on them, you give them all your attention. And that is how you consciously rewrite the story and break that negative cycle.
But hold on, we can actually take this a step further, because it's not just about what's happening in your head, it's also about what you're doing with your body. So let's talk about the incredible connection between your mind and your body.
Okay, check this out, because the science here is fascinating. Get this, even a fake smile can trick your brain. Seriously, the physical act of smiling triggers your brain to release all these feel-good neurotransmitters, dopamine, serotonin, the whole crew. And these little guys help slash stress and anxiety and give you a mood boost. So next time you're repeating those new positive thoughts, try smiling while you do it. It's like a turbo boost for the whole process.
And it doesn't stop with smiling. Your posture plays a huge role too. Adopting what are called power poses can send powerful signals right back to your brain. Want to feel confident but also relaxed? Try leaning back in your chair, hands behind your head. Need to feel confident and in control? Stand up, plant your feet apart, and put your hands on your hips. Yep, the full superhero pose. It might feel silly at first, but your body language can literally change how you feel inside.
So, we've got the mental playbook and we've got the physical techniques. The last piece of the puzzle, and maybe the most important, is practice. How do we take this whole process and turn it from something you have to think about into something that's just automatic?
I want you to think of it like this. Every single time you intentionally walk through these 5 steps, you are carving a brand new path in your brain, a new neural pathway. At first, yeah, it's going to feel like hacking your way through a dense jungle with a machete. It takes real effort. But the more you walk that path, the wider and clearer it gets, until one day it's a smooth, easy road. It becomes your new default response.
Look, this isn't just some interesting theory. It is a real, practical skill you can start using the second this is over. So that leaves just one question for you to take with you into your day. What emotion are you going to be the boss of today?